Thank you so much for tuning in to Awakening with Katina Love. We are a conscious talk show to learn about self empowerment, the law of attraction, creating financial abundance, natural health, and metaphysics. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Awakening with Katina Love. Today we have a lovely guest. Her name is Tiffany Janay, Womanhood Empowerment Coach. Her websites are tiffanyjanay.com and yonieggs.com. Tiffany, thank you so much for being a guest today. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Beautiful. I know you've been traveling a lot. Where are you at right now?
I am in Hawaii right now.
Beautiful. How's the weather?
Perfect every day.
Oh my God. I can't wait to come out there and visit.
Yeah. Well, I have a
So,
retreat this summer, so maybe that's a good opportunity.
oh, that would be awesome. Okay, we'll talk about more about your retreats later. Awesome. Okay, because I know you're doing a few this year, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I have two.
Beautiful. Okay. So I've been following you a while for on Facebook, and what caught my attention were the Yoni eggs. I had no idea what Yoni eggs were until I saw you talk about them on Facebook.
hmm
So thank you for introducing me to the Yoni eggs. Wonderful. So let's talk about what started you on your health and wellness journey.
Uh, I always felt like I was healthy when I was younger. I've always had a taste for higher quality food, but wasn't really in an environment that nourished that or supported that. And I didn't have the education. So when I was in my early 20s, I started getting really sick. I was blacking out. I was having a plethora of issues going on, and I had went and got a test done on my cholesterol, and I found out that my cholesterol was 298, the bad one. And the nurse was just telling me, like, you're in a lot of trouble. You need to get this under control. Like, this can basically kill you. And
Mm-hmm.
so that awakened me to, like, oh, I'm in a body, and a body needs care, and I'm the one who needs to have to do that. So I got to figure some stuff out. This is what it means to be an adult. Like, I have to do this. So from there, that nurse taught me about four things to remove from my diet. It was partially hydrogenated oil, high
Mm-hmm.
fructose corn syrup, all white products, and then to switch to 100% juice. And when I made those shifts, I felt like, oh, what can I eat? You know, these things are in everything. This takes away everything that I love to do. But when I made that shift, I dropped immediately like 20 pounds, and that kind of grossed me
Wow.
out
I
because
remember you
I was
talking
like,
about that. Wow.
yeah, I was like,
Wow.
this is crazy that the food has that big of an impact. And like, oh my God, what have I been putting in my body? And
Right.
so that got me interested. And it's been a journey. Like, eventually I found I did my first cleanse several years later. And then I read this one book that went with the cleanse, like, over and over and over again. And it was talking about the food and the body. And
Mm-hmm.
I just started learning, and at some point I made a pact with my body where I was like, we're going to be in partnership together instead of me working against you and you scaring the crap out of me with,
Right.
like, breaking down. So um, we became partners, and then now it's like a beautiful relationship.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, who you would say helped you on your journey? I know you talk about the guide you had with the cleanse that you did, but is there any other teachers that helped you along your journey or any other books that helped you out?
Yeah, I've had amazing teachers. There's one that is at the top of my list, which is Queen Afua. I
Mm-hmm.
found her one day. It was very funny. I had met this woman that was on a layover flight, and we had a mutual friend, and the friend went and picked her up, and we sat down and we just started instantly talking and vibing. And I was telling her where I was at in my journey. I was just getting into, like, holistic health, and she's like, I bought this book because I was going to read it for my travels, but now I know I bought the book to give to you. And it was
Wow.
Queen Afua's Heal Thyself. And I read that book, and it just changed everything. I was like, oh my God, every woman should have this book. And I immediately was like, she's going to be my friend. This woman, I'm
Yeah.
going to bring her into my life. Um,
Wow.
and in some time I went and I met with Queen, and eventually she invited me to her house, and I went on to help
Wow.
organize some events and worked on some very important things to help her with her work and her company. But she's really the mother of womb healing and all of this stuff that's like popular in this moment with taking care of our wombs and honoring ourselves, like that comes from the yoni of Queen Afua. So she's been awesome,
Wow.
really prolific.
That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. My goodness. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to share about holistic living? Like if somebody's just getting into, they're just awakening to natural health and they're just like awakening to the things that are available to us for our health and wellness in nature.
Yeah, I actually have a book. It's an ebook. It's available on my website, tiffanyjanay.com. And it's a quick, easy read, but it
Hmm.
breaks down just these steps of those 4 things you should eliminate from your diet and then where to go to next, like whether to vegan or not to vegan, what kind of water that it is that I drink and why. And I've gone many different levels in that as far as in harvesting my own spring water, drinking
Hmm.
distilled water, putting crystals in my water. So
That's so
there's
beautiful.
yeah, so there's a lot to the journey, and it's definitely like a rabbit hole that you go down. And I put all of that inside of the book to just kind of document it and
Yeah,
help people that start out. Yeah.
that's beautiful. That is so awesome. So now let's get to this part is fun too that we just did, but let's get to the funner part, the other part, the talk about the yoni eggs.
Okay.
I don't know a whole lot about Yoni Eggs. I just kind of saw you talk about them and a few other ladies on Facebook, but you were the
Uh-huh.
first person that I saw post about it on Facebook. So, how did you get started with that? Like, how did you discover them?
Another great teacher of mine, Kenya K. Stevens of Juju Mama. Uh, I was taking a class with her when in 2000, I became a wife. I had fantasized about being a wife for as long as I can remember. And then I actually messed around and became one. And I was like, I have no idea what it means to be a wife. I'm just a young
Hmm.
girl that's been dating. And now I
Yeah.
have a husband I'm responsible for. So I started taking classes and learning about what feminine energy was and how to just be my best. And that one class that I took was called Feminine Power, and it was with Kenya K. Stevens. And she was talking about all these different archetypes that you can take on that are masculine or feminine, and then ways to nourish your feminine and ways to like activate different energies to get various results. And so through her class, she was like, you guys should have a yoni egg. And that was the
Oh,
first time I ever heard of it. And she's like, this is really powerful. It'll help you build this connection with your womb. Go
really?
and find them. And I Googled it at the time. There's 3 different companies that came up. None of them had an e-commerce website. They were all ran through a blog. And so the blog just listed out all of these different kinds of stones that they could have, and you had to write them. And I wrote all of them. Each one of them took over a week to respond back to me to tell me that what I was looking for, they didn't have. And this process went on for so long. It was like a month, and I still didn't have an egg. And I felt like if these are so important to women and these
Yeah.
are the keepers of them, this has got to be done differently. And I just set that simple intention, and then from there I found a source and I started offering them through my Facebook. Um and then I started servicing like hundreds of women. Never in my life has that happened. And then eventually I launched the first e-commerce website dedicated to Yoni Eggs. I bought yonieggs.com.
Hmm.
And then as the women started taking me seriously, like, hey, I'm coming to you for this is what's going on with my womb. I have cancer. I'm having miscarriages. I'm
Wow.
sick. I'm have a hysterectomy. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, I have no idea, but
Right.
this isn't, I'm just a student still, but that put me into a position where I had to take it seriously because they were coming to me and they were asking me these things and I had a tool. So that sent me on this path of like, you got to study. This has got to become important, and you have to learn about yourself, and in turn this will help other women. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just grown from there. And now Yoni Eggs are a household name, and it's spun out
Wow.
into this bigger thing, and it's really cool.
So you're kind of like the mother of Yoni Eggs. I mean, you own the
Uh,
website, yonieggs.com.
yeah,
And there is no other commercial site or e-commerce site for it. So,
I definitely
wow.
have done a lot. I mean, there were other women that were doing a lot of great work before I came in, but I came with a marketing and a sales understanding and a customer service understanding. And so as far as in like commercializing it. I definitely did a lot with that. In fact, some years back, I was the first company that ever did packaged Yoni eggs. And
Wow.
since then, I've seen my design duplicated. The design doesn't work. That's a plot twist. But yeah, other people have done it, and it's just changed a lot. We've been on talk shows and major
That's
magazines,
beautiful.
and yeah, it's been really cool to be in the space to lead the way or to be
That
part of it.
that is truly amazing. So you put them where? I love how you have that on your Facebook page. You put them
Yeah,
where? Let's
that's
go there. Let's go there.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you want to
Because
know where you put them?
yeah, where do you put them?
Well, you could choose to put them inside of your vaginal canal. And so this practice goes back many generations. The oldest recorded history is from China that I have found, as far as in the detailed work about them and how to use them. The Tao talks about it a lot. And so traditionally, they were reserved for higher echelon women. And this is what they use, these crystals, to help them with their womb health and to become better lovers, and just to maintain their overall health. So that now is having a comeback, but of course any woman can have access to them. And the thing is that with the womb, it's a very special portal, vortex, and most of us are not taught how powerful that is, so we misuse our power, or we end up like splurging this power out and harming ourselves and harming others. And there's a difference between like sex and your womb, but unfortunately with the female genitalia area, mostly all we're ever taught is that it's going to bleed, it's going to hurt, it's going to push out a baby, and you
Right.
please men with it.
Right.
And that's really it. But really the womb is like, I like to think of it as a magical genie that we have at our access all the time, because we
Yeah.
are the creators, we're the birthers of everything. So you have this genie inside of you, and when you learn how to talk to it, it really can give you anything that you want and birth whatever it is that you want. That's the power. We don't have to just birth human children. Like, we are constantly birthing things. So the reason why holistic health comes into all of this is because the higher that you're vibrating, which has to do with your health and your well-being and your mental sanity and your stability and all of that, the higher that you're at, then the higher quality of creations that you're producing. And when you're attuned and you know your power, then you're creating on purpose, as opposed to, why are all these things happening to me? But really, you have created the majority of this from just not cultivating your thoughts and your power. So there's other things out there. There's like bin wall balls, and I heard that you could go to a doctor and they put something inside of you and they create these kegels or whatever to tighten. But the magic of Yoni eggs is that they're made from pure crystals and semi-precious stones, which are actual living beings. And to me, they're ascended masters that have walked this planet for a very long time, and they have managed to master certain characteristics and traits that us humans are coming back to try to learn. And they hold the frequency of that. So they are the grid of our planet. They're constantly holding the frequency of these higher things, which gives us that feeling of hope or of aspiration to be able to get that, because someone is holding that frequency, which makes it real. And so when you take these semi-precious stones and you bring them inside of your womb, then it's you're taking that higher frequency energy into this magical place, right? And it's helping to purge out whatever the lower frequency stuff is that's in there that may have been abuse or trauma or abortions or any of that kind of things. So you're helping to purge that out by raising the frequency of your walls. And then that brings in all these different things where it's like, hey, I am a goddess, I am important, I am powerful, I can forgive, I now have the courage to claim what it is I want, or to assert my value in things. And so it's this beautiful relationship that happens between Mother Earth and the womb, and then you as the human have the ability to support that to just be more powerful.
That is Truly amazing. Wow. So this is all new to me. So how can you kind of just tell us like how would you, and we're not recommending that you try this at home. Tiffany's just sharing her journey and I'm very interested to learn how to do this, but this is at your own risk. So I'm not reliable and Tiffany Janay is not liable either for if you try this at home. So that being said, um, so how do you do it? How do you put it up there?
Um,
And how does it
well,
stay? And does it come out? And
yeah. Well, first, it's your, like, that space is very sacred, and no one should tell you what should go up there, including a rock or a crystal.
Mhm.
So I always recommend that once you get it, you begin this relationship with it like you would with anybody else before you allow it into your sacred space. And you learn to talk to it and to understand it and to begin to trust it with giving it your intentions and speak it in there, because crystals are a technology and they have the ability to be programmed. So there's a lot of information that you're going to access by having a relationship with the crystal, but then also
Mhm.
you're giving the crystal information and you're programming it to like create what it is that you want. Um, so you just start the relationship with that, carrying it around, sleeping
Mhm.
with it under your pillow, putting it on an altar, whatever that looks like for you. And then eventually, if it gets to the space where you feel like, I want to bring this inside of me, I want to experience that, then that's something you can do. We do have a cervix, and even if you've had a hysterectomy, there's a seal at the back of the womb. So the egg's not going to go in through your vagina and end up in your nose. It will stay, it's going to come out the same place that it went in.
Mhm.
Um, and it might not stay in, or it might stay in for a long time. Each woman is different. And there's a
Mhm.
few schools of thoughts. There's one where you put the egg in, and if you can't get it out, you just let it stay in there, and it's working its energy. And some people have kept them in for days at a time, weeks at a time. And then there's another school of thought that says you should absolutely not do that. You should put the egg in, you should stand in a horse stance position, do Kegel exercises with it, and have an intention set, work with it for a few minutes, and then take it out, cleanse it, and put it away. So
Hmm.
it's really a personal journey and whatever works for you, but it's very beautiful to experience and to have.
You mind if I ask you how long the longest amount of time you've left yours in?
um 2 days is my max, but I that was really just like a choice. I've never had it to the place where it gets stuck. Like, I've always been able to take it out. But I don't know. My journey personally with Yoni Eggs has been different, because whereas my client might be handling 1 to 2 eggs, as a client,
Mhm.
me personally, I can have 1,000. I have 1,000 eggs around me, and
Mhm.
so my journey with them is different. I call myself an ambassador of the mineral people, and
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, so they teach me about my womb and my power through different ways. I don't like I appreciate the eggs. I know how powerful they are. I've seen many of my clients have had remarkable benefits from them. But for me personally, I don't really like anything inside of me too
Mhm.
often. So
Mhm.
it's not
Mhm.
my personal goal to like keep it in for days at a time. I don't feel like I have a lot of stuff stored in my womb that I'm trying to like heal in that
Right.
way.
Right.
And yeah, so it's just different. I have a different relationship with them. But to
That's
answer your question.
quite interesting because as we sit here, I'm just kind of using my imagination. I would think that a woman would really need to, like you're saying, have that relationship with her womb and really study and learn and look at pictures of the reproductive sex, organs in the body and
Hmm.
really educate herself and understand how all of that works.
Hmm.
And especially if she's thinking about inserting that in her vagina, she would need to understand where it would go, the anatomy of the whole reproductive system, but the whole area in the vagina. She would have to understand, like, how much space is in there and all of that, in order to feel confident with putting it up there. I would think, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that is just truly amazing.
Yeah.
I'm almost speechless as to the power of the yoni egg. Wow. And
Yeah.
the
It's really
whole
fascinating.
female things we have going on down there, because again, we weren't taught that, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a journey that we have to learn to honor, that is a sacred space, and to respect it and to love it and to nurture and embrace it, and it's a goddess all by itself.
For sure.
Wow. Anything else you want to add to that?
Um, no, well, yeah, just fall in love with yourself, find ways to really honor and care for yourself. Um, I think that it's pretty common for women to feel overworked and accessed by so many all of the time that
Mhm.
really you have to take it and make it your responsibility to take supreme care of yourself so that you show other people around you how to treat yourself. And if
Mhm.
you're always worn down and stressed and things, then people they'll reciprocate that and keep giving you more of that. But when you take the time to take your time and to
Mhm.
nourish yourself, then people will know that they have to allow space for you to have that experience,
Mhm.
and they'll respect it as such. So you really lead the way on what you experience in life. And Yoni Eggs, holistic living, and it's all a beautiful world to geek out on and to really just like see how far you can go with it.
That's beautiful. So what products and services do you offer besides the yoni eggs?
Um, I have this online store where I sell other products like crystals and sage and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, I do so many things. It's like sometimes funny to list it all out, but it all it all has the same kind of orbit, same intention in mind. I teach classes and workshops about sacred sexuality and communication and honesty. Um, and what else do I do? I coach clients. I take on a select amount of clients every year,
Mhm.
where I can teach people about wherever they're at. Like I have one man that's a client right now, and I'm teaching him about, he's an artist and he's going to be a very big up and coming artist. So I'm teaching him about holding his seed
Mhm.
and about being honorable in all his interactions with women as he goes along. And so, yeah, just those kind of things. And then outside of that, I have retreats that I do,
Mhm.
and I have two of them that I'm currently booking for. Surrenderretreat.com is my retreat in July in Ecuador, on this very
Wow.
beautiful holistic healing land in
Mm.
the Andes Mountains. And
Wow.
it's either 12 or 7 days, your choice. And it's all about detoxifying and healing. You'll have unlimited raw food and some cooked vegan food, unlimited Norwalk pressed juices, which a Norwalk juicer is like a $2,000 juicer,
Wow.
because it just extracts out as many of the benefits of the plant as possible. There's also unlimited coconut water. We're going to have
Oh my
different
God.
workshops and
Okay.
excursions and things. There's a hyperbaric chamber. There's a massage therapist. There's a chiropractor. There's a sauna, steam room, like really
Wow.
cool stuff. And that one's
Sounds like
really
heaven. Let's just call it heaven. You want to come to
yeah.
heaven?
That retreat's really personal to me because it will give me the opportunity to be with people for a period of time where people can actually see what it looks like to change your lifestyle, and they can feel the benefits from it, so that they can then take it home and repeat it. Because I do events, and sometimes we talk about what can be done or what can be achieved, but it's so quick that people don't really have the space or the tools or the knowledge or the ability to like feel what all of
Yeah.
that looks like and how to experience it. So this one's cool. And then my second retreat is in August in Maui, Hawaii, and that one's moneymagicretreat.com.
Love it.
And my partner is Ariel Lauren, who is a Harvard business strategist graduate, and
Beautiful.
she is going to teach about the practical aspects of building your wealth and organizing your business. And then I teach about moving the energy and getting out of your way by being aware of the cycles that are happening outside of you, and also how you use your words and your power to either assist you or create more blockages. So
very beautiful.
yeah.
I'm interested in both.
Yeah, they're both going to be amazing.
What do the packages start out at?
I don't even have that off the top of my head.
Okay, no problem. We can
Yeah,
just
but
check out your website.
Yeah, we do payment plans because we want to support people to be able to come at any financial level. And the one in Ecuador is for men and women. The one in Maui is for women only, and they're both very different. And the one in Maui, I think, is just 5 days, whereas the one in Ecuador is longer.
Okay, beautiful. Well, thanks again so much for being a guest today on Awakening with Katina Love. It's been very fascinating to talk to you, and it's been a pleasure. And I've learned quite a bit just sitting here talking to you.
Good. Thank you. Thanks so much for bringing me on, and I'm glad to see you're still at it and flourishing your vision.
Thank you. And I just want to say to you that you inspire so many people, and to just keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, you're really making a difference. And it takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to do what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So just keep up the good work.
All right. You too.
So thanks again for being a guest, and audience, thank you for tuning in to the Awakening with Katina Love. Namaste.